Good morning, everybody. Happy Halloween. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We're in the Airbus A320neo, the retro Lufthansa livery, departing from Munich and heading to Sibiu. That's the pronunciation, apparently, as close as I can get it. We are actually going to Transylvania. I looked up the name of the town here that we're going to. This is actually in the Transylvanian region. Transylvania region, not Transylvanian. Anyway, this is what we got. This is what we're looking like today. We're gonna push back from 223 Alpha, taxi on over to 08 right, depart on out this way, a little bit north, and then cut across, head east, southeast, all the way through here, and then we're gonna drop down into this valley here. Now, according to what I've seen, we need to be at about 11,000 feet by the time we get here. But I don't know, since I'm not really flown in this area, I don't know the height of these mountains. So we may be a little bit higher, and then we'll just adjust. Now, if you were in the Discord and I said about the approach, this is what we got. This is what we're looking at here. And I think a lot of it's mainly due to the mountainous region and being able to have time to descend to a level to prepare for landing. So we're going to come here and then we're going to cross over. We're not going to touch this waypoint, but we're going to come out here and then we're going to hang a right. Kind of fly this weird pattern, hang another right, and then come back around, and then line up. So we got to be aware of that. Excuse me. That's going to be the tricky part, I think. Is that going from our arrival phase into our approach phase. So if we have to, when things fall apart, we'll go ahead and try to land it ourselves. I think we should be able to. It's not a very long runway, but I think we have enough space that we can get it on the ground. We're going to have to try to get it on the ground as quickly as possible before we run out of room here for the on the runway. So we'll see how it goes. But it'll be a bit. Should be interesting. I don't know why it does this. I don't understand this sim sometimes, that it does away with your stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll wait a few minutes. I don't know that anybody's going to be flying with me today. What I've done is I put my this is the route. So I don't have all the information between. That's my departure, the 1 Alpha Kilo, or the Alpha Kilo India November 1 Echo. That's the departure route. And then our arrival and our approach. So I'm at, like I said, I'm at gate 223 Alpha. If you want to fly along, you can pick your own gate. You can fly your own way, whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you if you want to fly. If not, it's perfectly fine. Still on the same server. It's probably going to be a quiet one today. I know Captain Arash is streaming this morning. It's his anniversary with Emma. So happy anniversary to the two of them. And hopefully many more years of happiness together. And let's see what else is there. We have... there's just a lot going on, I think, today. So, and plus it's Monday. So it probably is going to be very quiet. I'm probably going to end up talking to myself most of the stream, I think, until we get about, I'm going to guess right about there. That's when everybody will start coming in, if they're going to come in at all today. If not, they can catch it tomorrow on YouTube at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And so before this stuff disappears, it did say it was about an hour 23-minute flight. Normally Lufthansa schedules this flight as an hour 40. So I don't know if that's including the that is a pushback in taxi time as well. So I'm guessing it's going to probably be closer to an hour 40. But we'll see what we can do to try to get us to the gate a little bit quicker. We'll talk about once we're in the air. We'll talk a little bit about Sibiu and Brand Castle, not Braun, Brand Castle, which is supposed to be around about somewhere over in this area. There is an airport here in that's the one that they're working on. It's not completed yet, I don't think. Was it that one? Yeah, I think there's an airport in this area that's supposed to be. They're working on it, but it's not completed yet. So this would have been much closer to Brand Castle. This Brasov is the closer part there. I don't know where it is actually in these mountains. You would think it would kind of stick out, but it might be under the cover of trees and such. So, it looks like there's a train station through there. Huh. Yeah, I think there is a lot of rail traffic through here. It's probably the easier way to get around if you don't have a car. So anyway, good morning, Joseph. I'm surprised to see you here because Jason's on SnowRunner, right? He is, isn't he? Still. So anyway, we'll give it a few more minutes and we'll pop in and start up and push back and all that good stuff, and then we'll be on our way down to Transylvania. I'll put in some information. Matter of fact, let me look at this. I know I had it. I know I had a page. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Surprised to see you here because I'm figuring you'd be watching that instead of me. So if you're bouncing between the two, it's fine. There we go. Let me Okay, I got some information up. Morning, Mela. Happy Halloween to you. Have you eaten your bag of candy yet, or are you working on your first bag? I know you're not going to want to share with the kids for Halloween today. All right. I think let's go ahead and spawn in and get our aircraft started up so we can get in the air. All to myself. Yep, I figured. Sorry, kids, no candy here. It's all gone. You got loads of bags of candy behind the door, out of sight. You just put a sign up, no candy here. That way you don't even get bothered. All right, let's go ahead and get our aircraft started up here.
Airbus Sibiu ready to copy. Airbus is cleared to Sibia Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 08 right climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure frequency is 120.65 Street. Airbus cleared to Sibia Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 08 right climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 120.65 Street. Airbus readback is correct. Contact the ground on 121.9 tree when ready to taxi. Good day. Ground Airbus requesting pushback.
Oh no! All right, let's restart it. Oh, I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. Oh, I had pasta for dinner last night, Amela. Nothing fancy. Yep, the dark screens are back again. Doggone it. All right, let's see if we get it this time. All right, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. Oops. Not that. I want that off. I tell you. Let's look at the flight plan first. My concern is once we get to the airport there. All right, so if we notice, see, it's got this weird, so it doesn't look like it's missing anything, but that's the flight plan we're going to follow. So it looks like it's intact. That's the important thing. Oh, now it crashed. My God, then the game crashes. You got to be kidding me. Gotta be freaking joking. First the system's shut off, and now the game shuts off. Oy. Well, you know what we may end up doing, folks, if we get another one. And I said in the Discord, if we get any more of these, we're gonna go right back to farming or go to train sim. I just you gotta be joking. You gotta be joking. Chicken thing and mash and other things. Well, that really narrows it down, Joseph. Really, it's times like this that just make me want to pull what little bit of hair I have out. Well, luckily I saved it for before the stream stopped. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Well, Joseph, no, it shouldn't, but it does. That's one of those things that you just never know when you're going to get that. And there's not much you can do other than either give up and do something else or keep trying until it works, or I don't know. But it's one of those things that just, it happens. And you know, it's Monday. Things don't want to work on Mondays or Fridays. try it again. Once we're back in, we'll do the flight plan again. All right, let's try this again. If we get in another one, folks, I will stop the stream and we'll go over and we'll do some train sim or something. Or maybe some farming, I don't know. Maybe this is the way of the sim telling me, don't bother with me today. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. Right, it's this one. Wireless approach. And here we go. All right. Let's try this again. So now we're 23. All right, there we go. All right, let's give this another go. If we have it again, we're just gonna stop. No, I'll do some. I think I'll do some farming. I don't feel like running a train today. All this a week before Sim Update 11 arrives, supposedly. I just don't know. I don't know what else to do. All right, let's try this. Make sure we don't want them talking just yet. We want to be able to start up, and then we'll push back. All right. Oops. That's what I was worried about. There's going to be a... Although it's done that before, but it kind of sorted itself out. So we're going to go with this. All right, now let's try starting up the engines. Oh, we got to get our... Oop, we got to get that back to the map. Or arc, I mean. What do you want? Performance 0 1 flight plan. All right, now we can start talking to Good morning, Planet Neutral. How are you? Sorry, I had the sim decided to crash, so I'm... I'll be back. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just one of those things that just I don't quite understand what all right. Ooh, let's get our lights on. think 08 right is down that way, so we want to turn to the right. Let me get this. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I think Four Simmers did this, Amela, and they have a sale right now in the marketplace for this. So I just figured it'd be a nice something different. All right. Yeah, Four Simmers does a pretty good job with their liveries, I think. So no stream tomorrow, folks. We'll be back Wednesday in the Junkers 52, departing from. Can't remember. It's in the Discord. I'll look at it once we land. Thursday no stream. Friday we'll be in the Cessna 208. We'll be down in Peru. We're going to be up in a mountainous region. We're going to take off and make our way to the coast of Peru. So, yeah, it should be some nice flying. Not sure what to expect, but we'll give it a go. Okay, I think almost all set otherwise. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Sorry it's been not a excellent start to the stream. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we make it all the way down there to Sibiu. And we touched down. Well, it's hit and miss. Sometimes I get a lot of viewers on the jetliners. They're planet neutral. Other times it's kind of like you just never know. Initially that was one of the things everybody wanted me to see, to do the A320 or fly jetliners, fly this, fly the 747, fly the 787, fly the A320. I used to do that quite a bit. I'd be like, okay, we're going to go from here to here. But after a while, it wasn't that challenging, to be honest. I don't know why these are on the run or on our taxiway, but okay. Because, well, I like to try to mix it up. Like, normally today we'd be in the Junkers 52 doing a tour of America, but I decided, since it's Halloween and we're going to Transylvania where the legend of Dracula was basically created by Bram Stoker. I thought this would be a cool thing for Halloween. It's just, I just never know. Sometimes we get a lot of viewers, other times everybody's like, oh, it's just standard. Because once you push the buttons, the plane flies itself. There's nothing to it, the plane, because there's no way I'm going to fly this thing manually with a standard Xbox controller. So, yeah, it's hard to say. My audience has been very finicky since I've been flying in or doing flight sim streams. Sometimes we do very well and we get a lot of people in, and other times it's like, oh, he's flying that boring old Junkers 52 again. I can't be arsed to watch. I never know. You know, so I just do stuff that I hopefully people will enjoy, and hopefully it draws people in. If not, oh well, it is what it is. I'm still gonna fly. Um, you know, so but yeah, this uh, um, jetliners were a big request. Can you? And then it wasn't just the jetliners. Then it was like, can you fly from out of this airport? It was always like something. I wouldn't say ridiculous, but it was generally the same area, same region of the world. I'll just leave it at that. And um, it didn't matter. Well, it's like, well, I just did one last week. Well, but I wasn't in the live stream. Well, okay, how is that my fault? What am I supposed to do? You know. So yeah, they people can get very uh, demanding. And finally, I was because I used to do like viewer requested flights, and then people wouldn't come in, and so it's like, well, you want this, and then when I say okay, let's do it, and then you can't come up with anything interesting, you know. So but I've gotten, I think the last one I did recently was we flew around the glacier parks in Montana. I did that, but generally I do not do viewer requested flights anymore. Now, if it's somebody I've known for a while and they're like, "Hey, could you do this?" Because there's some meaning behind it. Like it's something connected to them personally or whatever. Then I might try to fit it in, but otherwise the answer is no. And that's the final answer. But if it's a reasonable request, I'm like, yeah, we can do that. Pleasantry goes a long way to getting a yes. But a lot of people would, it's like what I see in a lot of other streamers. People get what they want, and then they just can't be bothered after that. They disappear. You know, they won't be seen ever again in the stream. Oops. I think I think Changeon is coming in on approach. We'll let them land and then we'll go. Yeah, looks like he's on final. Alright, dude, clear the runway so I can go. Alright, let's go. Before he changes his mind. Oh, he disappeared. He probably pulled off and then ended his flight. Something, who knows. And away we go. Okay. I don't have any traffic, but okay. Why did that change again? That's interesting. Okay. All right. So we're finally on our way, folks. Adios to Munich. Bye to Munich. All right, should go to our next altitude here. No, we're just going to speed. Sorry. We're trying to get our folks to Transylvania for their Bran Castle tour for Halloween. All right, fingers crossed we don't have any other hiccups along the way here. All right, so this area that we're heading to, Sibiu, it is the capital of the county. It was also between 1692 and 1791 and 1849 and 1865. It was the capital of the Principality of Transylvania. Known for its culture, history, food, and diverse architecture, including the iconic house with eyes that gave Sibiu its nickname. It is now part of the UNESCO World Heritage, the Historical Center. It was designated the European Capital of Culture in 2007. It was ranked Europe's 8th most idyllic place to live in 2008. 2019, it was named the European region of gastronomy. Gastronomy, which means food, basically. And away we go. And we'll go to standard pressure. But we're on the loud pedal and out of here. So yeah, it was one of the most important centers of Transylvanian Saxons. Lots of history there. So Bran Castle, we'll talk about that here in a second once we get to okay. It is Castle Bran, which is located 25 kilometers or 16 miles southwest of Brasov. It is a national monument and landmark in Transylvania. The fortress is on the Transylvanian side of the historical border with Wallachia on road DN73. It's commonly known as Dracula's Castle. It is marketed as the home of the title character in Bram Stoker's Dracula. There is no evidence that Stoker knew anything about this castle, which has only tangential associations with Vlad the Impaler, who shares his name with Dracula. Stoker's description of Dracula's crumbling fictional castle also bears no resemblance to Bran Castle. It is now a museum dedicated to displaying art and furniture collected by Queen Marie. Tourists can see the interior on their own or by a guided tour. At the bottom of the hill is a small open-air museum exhibiting traditional Romanian peasant structures from the Bran region. Okay. Though many myths have been connected to him in connection with the Dracula myth, most historians agree that Vlad III Dracula, also known as Vlad the Impaler, never set foot in Castle Bran, which was neither a friendly place for him to visit nor under his rule. It was once believed that he was imprisoned there after he was captured by the Hungarians in 1462, but historians now conclude that he was imprisoned in a fortress in Budapest. During Stoker's research on the region of Transylvania, he came across accounts of atrocities committed by Vlad III and used the Dracula name after reading on the subject, but his inspiration for Dracula was not solely based on a historical figure. It is largely due to American cinema that Vlad III is considered the inspiration for Dracula's character, or for the character of Dracula. And then Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler was the second son of Vlad Dracul, who became the ruler of Wallachia in 1436. Where is so apparently, now this has been subject to some conjecture. In medieval Romanian, Dracula meant dragon, not a vampire. But now with popular pop culture and and such. It's now known as that of a. Trying to find the. Okay. Okay, stories about Vlad's brutal acts began circulating during his lifetime after his arrest. Courtiers of Matthias Corvinus promoted their spread. The papal legate Niccolo something, I don't even, had already written about such stories to Pope Pius II. 2 years later, the Pope included them in his commentaries. According to one Boheme stories, to one of Bohem's stories, Meister singer Michael Beam. Vlad had 2 monks impaled to assist him to go to heaven. Let me get up to our. Also ordering the impalement of their donkey because it began braying after its master's death. Boheme also accused Vlad of duplicity, stating that Vlad had promised support to both Matthias Corvinus and Mebid II, but did not keep the promise. So he was known for, especially in Germany, that if anybody that he caught that was a prisoner, well, there was no prisoners, you were impaled alive, and your bodies were left on show for other people to see, basically. Which, would, if you were a soldier from the opposing army and you saw that, chances are you were not going to fight, because you would probably go like, yeah, I don't want to end up like that. So yeah, if there's any hint of cruelty, and it's a form of psychological warfare, if people tell those stories, yeah, chances are you're not going to you're not going to want to fight. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to lay down my arms and go the other way. Alright, well, at least we're near our cruising altitude here. So yeah, apparently, but they say he was never really in that region. So I don't know if it's that basically somebody spread some stories to get others to how did that, well, I tell you. Well, now I'm getting the stutters with the sound. I can't go any higher than medium on the auto brakes. That's interesting. Okay. You should be all set. Yep. Alright. Alright, we're leveling off here. It's like... So if we zoom out here a little bit. Not too much ahead of us. So yeah, the castle itself is, you can, yeah, like I said, you can tour it. Traditionally, now there's a castle in Heidelberg that I think they nicknamed it Frankenstein's castle or something or other for like Halloween, to get people to go to like the Halloween party there. Yeah, it's a pretty, most of these historical castles that are creepy in nature at night especially do host, or they used to, I don't know if they still do now because of the pandemic, but they used to host big parties there in the castles for. I think what I'm going to do, I'm kind of leery about going outside for too long here along the view, only because it seems like it's starting to stutter a little bit, and I have a bad feeling we're gonna have another CTD. Hopefully not, but let's see, we have 145 nautical. Okay, so this is one of our long parts of the flight. So Joe just went live. I'm guessing Addies will go watch Joe if he hasn't been bouncing between me and Jason, if Jason's still live. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm just going to kind of cruise it. We're going to cruise here on the flight deck, folks, and let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off so our cabin service going here now that we're at our cruising altitude. Things seem to be close to the ground, so it's interesting to hear you can. Well, it's happened before. Like a lot of people, you get a lot of stutters. So it kind of, I'm always a bit leery about it because it feels like something's going to happen at any moment. And, I think the last time I flew an A319 out of Monterey down to LAX, and we managed to, we did okay with it, and that was about an hour something long flight. But yeah, lately that seems to be one of the things, is either you get the screens all go blank either at the beginning or towards the end of the flight. Everything will kind of just shut down, and then you have no way of anything. Oh, Joseph's still here. Okay, Joseph. I don't know if you go watch Joe. Go watch Joe. It's fine. I just give you a hard time about it, but it's fine. If you want to go. We got plenty of flying ahead of us. If we want to go watch Joe on the choo-choos, you can. Yeah, it's lately it's so hit and miss. Like with my general aviation stuff, I'm not overly concerned about anything happening. It's very rare that I'll get a CTD while I'm doing general aviation. But on the jetliners, it seems, I don't even have the photogrammetry on. I've turned all that off. I've tried to make it as, low memory consuming as possible on my Xbox Series S, which a lot of people are saying the S is not, going forward as they add more stuff, the S is probably not going to be powerful enough to handle the flight sim, even with all the stuff dialed down to as minimal as possible. It's still gonna have its issues. So I'm hoping next year sometime I can get a PC, and I won't have to worry about that. Although, the PC isn't without its own issues, and it's frustrating because my feeling is, my understanding, feeling, whatever you want to call it, is that because they're not, the errors are not they can't replicate what happens. They're like, well, we can't fix it because we can't replicate it and know where to go to fix it. So, it doesn't affect it. It's weird because it's like this wave of. That's the best way I can describe it. It seems like there's this wave of problems. Some people experience them, and then they kind of go away for a little while, and everything's fine. And then other people experience it. It's never at the same time, it seems. Whereas if it affected everybody at the same time, then everybody could say, okay, now we have a problem that it's affecting everybody all at once. Then they can say, okay, now we know where to go to fix it. But it seems like it's sporadic. So, I love the sim. Like I was watching Scruffy Tam a couple weeks ago, and he was having issues. And, he made a very valid point. When this sim works, when everything works, it is one of the most amazing things to experience. But when it doesn't work, it frustrates you. And I said, there's no in between. Either it works or it doesn't. If you go in between, you just never know. But generally, it's going to be. Hey, speaking of Scruffy, how are you? Happy Halloween to you. I watched your stream last week on the Crystal Lake stuff. That was really interesting to see something like that in a flight sim. Because I thought it was kind of like one of the my thought was going to be that you're there and you have to escape and you're going to hop in a plane and go. Before you kind of have to sneak around and not find the horror characters. Like Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and so yeah, I thought maybe I thought maybe you were going to make your way to a float plane and go. But yeah, fingers crossed that Sim Update 11 brings. They always talk about the Sim updates are supposed to bring a lot of improvements. It's only time will tell. I have a plan next Friday. Should the DC3 get released, and I don't know what time everything's coming out, but we're going to do a flight from Bournemouth over to Normandy in the C-47, the military version of the DC3. So if you want to fly along, if you've got it and you want to fly, you're more than welcome to. If you want to fly fighter escort, because it's Memorial Day here Veterans Day here in America and Remembrance Day in the UK. So we will be honoring that with this, hopefully with a C-47 flight. And as I always say, I preclude streams like that. No snide or negative comments. No, it will not be tolerated. So if you have something to say that if you think about it and you're like, yeah, that's probably not going to be taken as disrespectful, please don't say it. I don't want to have to kick anybody out of the stream. Okay. So I'm a veteran myself. I don't tolerate that sort of stuff. Okay. So please be respectful of that. But anyway, so we got a bit of a tailwind, it looks like. Kind of not completely behind our tail, but giving us a little bit of a push. Yeah, that was pretty cool though. What was it, Parallel 42? They come up with some really interesting stuff. But I really thought it was going to be kind of that you were going to sneak around and try to avoid them and then hop in a float, like a floaty act or something, and go. So yeah, that was good stuff. All right, it says we've been in the air for about 37 minutes, I think. Yeah, the flight has been going for about 38 minutes now. Yeah, I think that would have been even more fun. Like you see them and you gotta, like, because that's what horror movies are all about. They're in this area and they gotta escape. Well, how are you gonna escape if, you know? So I think that would have been fun. But no, it was really, they did a good job. It was very creepy. And I love the way you ended the stream. You're like, oh, somebody's down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, this is. I'm like, either you were going to come back and you were going to have like a scary mask on and scare the bejesus out of everybody or something. But then you were just like, and then the stream ended and I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, good stuff. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Oh, it was last minute. Nice. That was good off the cuff thinking. Yeah. It was a nice touch. Because I thought, because it kind of reminded me, like, years ago when I lived in Savannah, I went down to St. Augustine, and they have this old jail that's supposedly haunted. And it's like the last stop along the tour. And so they get you off the tour bus kind of thing. It's one of those open air, somebody's narrating, and yeah, it was a good surprise ending. And so we get off the bus and you go into this large hall kind of area, holding area, whatever you want to call it. And then they were like, okay, hold on, folks, to stay right here. We got to go check something. Then the lights go off. And then I'm like, okay, now the cheesiness is going to begin. And sure enough, this dude switched on a flashlight underneath his face. And he's like dressed up as a ghostly looking prisoner. And I'm just looking like, wow, this. I wasn't scared. Everybody like jumped out of their skin almost. And I'm like, this was to be expected. Come on, it's supposed to be a haunted castle. Of course they're gonna have a bit of fun with it and try to scare people. But the dude and I talked for a little bit, like everybody was kind of wandering around, and him and I talked for a little bit while everybody was exploring the jail and some of the history and all that. But it was just too funny. Like I couldn't help. I was just like standing there, like, really? And he's looking at me, like, come on, dude, at least be a little bit scared. And I'm just like, no, I'm not buying it. But no, I was kind of half expecting. I thought he's gonna go back and he's gonna have some fake blood somewhere, and you know, kind of all done up, and everybody was like, "Oh my god," you know. But no, that was really good stuff. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, they did an awesome job. I really wish it could have come to the Xbox, but because it's very grotesque in nature and all that, they couldn't pass it. But on the in-sim marketplace, but oh well, it is what it is. Yeah, that was good stuff. So yeah, Wednesday we'll be back. Junkers 52. We are departing from. Let's see, what was our last area we landed, which was Jack Brooks Regional. We're going to College Station. Um, And then on Friday, we are in the Cessna 28B going from Anton Juarez to Lima Calo. So we're going to be in Peru the whole time. Very mountainous. Good afternoon, Chris. Very mountainous area. Not sure. I've looked at it with the live weather, and it's got snow there because it's up pretty high in altitude. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see how things go. um, yeah, I don't know. So and then we'll be back to the normal stuff the following week. It's just this week I got some stuff going on, so it'll be a bit of a thin week, as I like to call it. Not too much happening. So I think I am going to take just a moment away real quick. I'll be right back. Sit tight. See you later, Amela. Thanks for stopping by. Take the candy with you. Eat more of it at work there. Anyway, I was thinking real quick. I wonder, because this livery, this Four Simmers, this retro livery, is in 8K. So I'm wondering if that's part of the problem. Is this thing is eating up what little bit of memory the Series S has. I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. Yeah, because we had a little CTD earlier, Scruffy. As first the screens went dark, so I went to go restart the flight, and then the sim crashed completely. So I don't know. Maybe the servers are haunted today. Who knows? It's only 5:12 in the morning on the West Coast there where Microsoft is. So, all right, we still have 21 nautical miles to that waypoint. Nav point, I should say, not waypoint. Let's see. Let's zoom out. All right, so 320 nautical miles. You can see here we have our nav point there in front of us, and then we have a couple in succession, and then we have between Alamu, is that what it is? Yeah, between there and here is our arrival portion. That's the beginning of our arrival phase. So we don't have a whole lot left to do, but we have a huge chunk between Alamu and Ibnu. I think it's Ibnu. Ibnu, yeah, is the beginning of our arrival portion. So, Bratislava. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I think we kind of flew over part of this when we did the tour of the. When we went from Amsterdam to Indonesia. We did fly over this because I know we went to Bucharest or Budapest. So I think we kind of flew over part of this area in the Fokker F7B before we kicked that to the curb for the. See. Okay, fair enough, Scruff. Greatly appreciate it. So here we go, getting bounced between centers now. No, you talk to him. No, you talk to him. No, I talked to him just a moment ago. You talk to him now. Watch, here we go. We'll get bumped again. No, maybe not. I think we're just skirting there. Yeah, I appreciate it. Good to see you too, Scruff. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Sound like you were kind of busy, but hopefully you had a good time. We had a pretty good flight, I think, yesterday. In the going from Long Island to Boston Logan. So Amityville to Boston Logan is the closest to Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah, we do have a tailwind for sure at 18 knots. Well, that's not too bad, but it's better than nothing. Oh, I was watching, I think I watched it this morning when I was still kind of laying in bed, waking up. They had a video of a 747, a KLM Cargo 747. It was a 400 series, taking off out of Miami, heading to Amsterdam. That is like, I looked, flying time is almost 9 hours to get there. It'd probably be closer to 9, depending on if you had to deviate the route because of weather or anything like that. But yeah, they did the startup pushback and taxi and all that, climbing out. I was like, ooh, I wonder how long that would take. And I was like, ooh, no. About 9 hours. That 747 flight from New York to Frankfurt about did me in that day. Oh, it was a bit ambitious on my part. I was not prepared, certainly not food-wise, prepared for it. So yeah, hopefully everybody's got some good fun Halloween stuff planned for today. Doesn't mean you have to go trick or treating. You can watch some. Oh, over the weekend, yeah. I remember. I think I talked about this before. I don't remember. In the Bay Area where I grew up, in the San Francisco Bay Area, used to be there was a guy on TV called Bob Wilkins, and he wasn't like this, Vincent Price, or he wasn't like an overly creepy looking guy. He just seemed like an everyday kind of person. He usually had a pipe or something, and he had kind of thick glasses, I guess. He would always introduce they had a lot of classic horror movies, or even back then what was considered to be like B movies, low budget horror flicks that not anybody really big name were in them and all that. But they did a lot of the classic stuff like the Dracula with Christopher Lee, the classic mummy movies, Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, stuff like that. And it was always like on a Saturday night. Now they said it was like late night TV, but I don't remember it being on. Well, when you're a kid, late could mean 8 o'clock, but you know, uh, but yeah. Eventually, I don't remember how many seasons he did it, but then they canceled it, and I think he passed away some time ago. I don't remember when, but yeah, because there was that, and then eventually I discovered Joe Bob Briggs, who did a lot of B movie reviews. Some of them were horror-like in nature. Um, but some were just like really bad movies, stuff that there wasn't really any plot line. It was more about the I guess maybe in a way some level of violence, some level of sex, you know. Um, yeah, he used to write a column that was in that would appear every Sunday in the San Francisco Chronicle, what they called the pink section, which was your arts and entertainment stuff. And eventually they pulled his article stopped appearing. I don't think Bob Wilkins was like that. He would talk about the movie for a bit and then yeah, it never came across as like the sort of creepy person you would expect to host a show featuring horror films. But it's funny because when I think about the horror films back then, it wasn't that they were overly grotesque. They didn't show a lot of blood and gore, but they hinted at the horror. They didn't really have to show it. It's what they didn't show that scared you. It seemed like, you'd see the shadow on the wall, for instance, but you didn't know who it was. What it was. And it was interesting. That's all it took was a shadow on the wall, for instance, or just the way the lighting or the music or whatever to scare people. It wasn't necessarily about the how grotesque they could make it. How much blood could they spill? Which seems to be that's the new norm on most horror movies today. Is how grotesque can they make it? What can they do to shock you next? And I think we're at the point now where most people aren't shocked by much of anything in horror movies. So yeah, this is our longest leg here, 206 nautical miles. So we had two pretty long legs here. This was like a 500 some odd nautical mile flight. We're just kind of sipping the gas here as we cruise along at 0.78 Mach. So just a little bit over 3/4 of a Mach, or 3/4 under Mach 1. Which is about the standard speed of the A320 when it's cruising, sipping gas along the way. Just takes a little sip. We just keep going, and then another little sip. That's amazing to think that engines like this now are much more fuel efficient, but provide the same amount of power or more than the first generations of jetliner engines, who just their fuel economy was just atrocious. But the sounds of them, if you listen to a classic airliner, like the first iterations of the 747, they had a very distinctive sound, but boy, they were loud. They burned a lot of fuel. It's no wonder why a lot of airlines went out of business. It's weird because where I live, we have a little small regional airport that I think you can land a CRJ or a Embraer. They're about that size that you can land one or the other there safely. An A320, no, it would be very. I couldn't imagine trying to land an A320 there. You could probably do it, but it would be very, very difficult. Even the Embraers and the that I think it's normally the Embraer CRJs that fly. No, not the Embraer, the Bombardier CRJs. I'm sorry, that fly in and out of there. The air service out of there with Delta is very sporadic, but um, yeah, you don't really hear them all that much. I don't know if it's because I'm not paying attention or they're there and they're just kind of quiet. They may come in a different way, and I don't hear them until they're almost on final approach. But where I live, the uh, life flights that because I live down the street from a hospital, they come almost right over, not directly over, but they fly within a very near vicinity to my apartment complex, so I always hear them. They were pretty busy there during the summertime, especially late summer. The temperatures got really hot. A lot of elderly folks had to be taken to the hospital, I think. Well, or they were busy for other reasons, but uh, the ambulances on the ground were very busy taking people to the hospital, I guess, with heat exhaustion or heat stroke. So we get a little bit closer. I think what we'll do is our first reduction because, as I said before, we need to be at about, according to what I saw in Navigraph, we have to be at about 11,000 feet when we get to this nav point here. Now let's see what the flight plan says. Yeah, all right, so that's about correct. So we're going to have to start we'll do incremental reductions in altitude. And then we have to be at 5,400. So yeah, but I want to make sure we're over those those mountains. We're not too high or too low. I'm going to probably say we'll get down to about 16,000 feet, and then we can go from there. See how we're doing. Um, now I think this is weather. At least I'm not getting the weather radar. It was pretty cool when I was watching that takeoff. It was raining in Miami, and they showed on the flight deck the something like this, and the radar continuously updating with the weather, with the rain and all that. That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. Something interesting to look at. So this is, as I was saying before, over in the Discord, this is an actual real-world Lufthansa route from here to Sibiu. Flight number 1662. They will be departing today at about 1540 local, I think, and get to because of the time change, they get into Sibiu at about 1830 or something like that. So just as the sun's going down. I was going to try to replicate that, but I thought, no, this is... After we had the CTD, I was like, let's get the flight done. It might be seems pretty quiet today. It's Monday, you just never know. Mick might be doing dad duties in preparation for Halloween tonight. He might be lurking. Is off already. Let's see how much farther we got to go. 142 nautical miles, just under 143. So we'll get a little bit closer and we'll start. I think when we're about 50 nautical miles out, we'll start reducing a little bit. We'll drop down to 30 and then we'll make small reductions from there. I think we'll go to 30 and then we'll go 25, 20, 15. I think 15. We'll leave it at 15. Hopefully we're be safe on the and then we're pretty much in a valley from there. Well, let me plug in the... so here's the town we're heading to today. Here's the wiki about that. Want to read? Click on that link for... That's the town we're heading to. And then here is the story, a little bit of history about Bran Castle. Want to read about that. Hey, Vengeful Squid. Hello. Happy Halloween to you, too. Which is the... and then Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the Third. There's some history about him. Salem, Boston. Nice. Yeah, we did that flight yesterday. We took off from Long Island, Amityville area. That was the closest. Long Island MacArthur is the closest airport to Amityville. There on the island, and we went to Boston Logan for. That's the closest to Salem. So a little bit of a crosswind. Let me blow my nose real quick. I did earlier before I started the stream, but there we go. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We did that in the V-35 Bravo, the Doctor Killer. So that was interesting. Got a few new viewers out of it. Well, not new viewers, new followers. Let's see, we are at 116 nautical miles. Okay. What? Oh, I hit the flat button by accident. Oh, crap. Dang. Whew. I did not mean to do... I think I was trying to zoom in there to look at the... how much we had left to go. Oops-a-daisy. See? I would have overstressed the engine and that would have been the end of that. I did turn that stuff off, though. So we wouldn't have any Interestingly, that looked like we have more fuel in the... Oh, it's okay. It's sipping out of that left tank there, the left inner wing. Okay. Whew. That could have gotten ugly. All right, now let's zoom out. Oop, let's zoom out again. All right, so at 160 nautical miles, this is what we got left. There's our start of our arrival portion there. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to do kind of a circle around and then line up for arrival, or line up for final approach. I don't know if the ILS system is actually going to work. We'll do all the stuff that we're supposed to do to get it to engage. If it doesn't, we're going to take over and land it ourselves. And that'll be that. But it's going to be very, very iffy because it's not a very long runway. I think once we're on the ground and the speed brakes pop and the auto brakes engage, although I try to put it on max and it won't let me do max. It only allows me to select medium. So I don't know why that is. It used to be you could select the whichever one you wanted. The anti-skid is on, so I don't know. So we'll have to be very careful either way. So we're going to have to try to get it down as quickly as possible and get it under control and then taxi to a parking spot. I think mostly Embraers or Bombardiers fly in and out of there. Probably the Bombardiers. But I always think about doing one of the Embraers, but we'll do this. We'll make it work. All right, so we should be. All right, so we're under 100 nautical miles out. Get a little bit closer, and then we'll start our descent portion. Thank you all once again for coming in and hanging out for however long you could. Greatly appreciated. Back on Wednesday in Euchers 52, Brooks Regional to College Station. So we're making a bit of a trip across Texas. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think tomorrow or Wednesday's flight will be might be a bit of a long one, but we'll try and make the best of it. And then really looking forward to Friday with that flight over the out of the mountains of Peru there to the coast. That should be fun. The 208 Bravo was the only one that seemed to be able to handle that flight up in that altitude and all that, so we're going to go with that. Let's see, it's still... That inner left fuel tank is a lot fuller than this one. And it's not... I thought it was going down, but it seems like it's just kind of hovering there and nothing's really changed. "21 kilograms of fuel per minute. sipping the gas. Straight up to put. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's very restricted. You can only there's only a certain way you can go because of the location of the Pentagon, the location of the White House, and everything. Yeah, it's a very, and I'm guessing like the pilots who fly in and out of there probably know that approach like the back of their hand. They know exactly, when to turn and everything. Although they have it on their displays, but a lot of them probably have flown that route for many years. Yeah, like I did do a flight. Where did I did something where we landed. Oh, it was the first. It was one of the first two legs or so in the Junkers flight around America. We landed there at Reagan National, and yeah, I had to come in. You come in over the Potomac, and then you have to kind of make a right turn into your final. Um, and I was like, I have to count the bridges. If we go past so many bridges, then we've gone too far, and we've blown the approach. So yeah, that's a. Oh, okay. Wow, we are getting told when to descend. Well, there we go. It already has a plan for us. Oh, we are. Look at that. We're already 60 nautical miles. Wow, we covered 30 nautical miles very quickly. And we'll take us out of the Mach airspeed here once we get down to flight level 270. All right, folks. Well, oh, I forgot to put on the seatbelt sign and the flight attendants know. Start cleaning up the. Boston's got a 10 out of a 10 on the America scale. Well, it is one of the. Yeah, I could see that because you're coming in off the water there usually. So yeah, I could see that. I would think SFO is pretty approachable because usually I think most every flight lands on 28 right in SFO, and I prefer the approach because I'm not that I've flown it personally, but I've been in the aircraft when they come over. They kind of come from the South Bay, and then you can, if you know the Bay Area, you know the bridges. You go from Dumbarton, San Mateo, bam, you're there. If you go past the San Mateo Bridge and you're not lining up for landing, then you're either you're getting spun because there's other traffic in the area and they have priority, or but yeah, it's a really nice approach, especially on a clear day or whatever. You can see, if you know the Bay Area, you can pick out the landmarks basically and go like, oh, yep, I know where we are and all that. So yeah, I do like that approach into San Francisco. I think it's called, the approach is DUM. Hold on a second. Let's have a look here. Where's my KSFO? It is approach 28 right ILS. Oh, it would be the star, or yeah, star. It is called Well, they may have changed the name of it. I don't recognize any of these. Might be Bodega. Yeah, they may have changed the names of the approaches. But I know there's one that basically you come in over the bridges. But yeah, even at night, like I've watched videos of like 747 captains landing there at night. All right, let's go ahead and change this to. Let's go to 270. Actually, let's go to 310. Oof. Okay. Well, let's slow down then. We got to go down to 210 then. Let's go 230. That's a huge drop. Oh well, that's what they want. That's what they're gonna get. Yeah, I do like to fly into San Francisco. Oakland's kind of blah. I've flown into Oakland before, and it's just there's only one way you take off and land, and it's just kind of like, no, it's just not that. But it's fun watching them land at Oakland, like when they come in for approach. It's pretty cool. But because there's a they call it a, what is it? There's like a park and all that in San Leandro or I think it's San Leandro. There's like a they have like a running and walking paths, and they have those little exercise stations along the way for like sit-ups and pull-ups and stuff like that. Yeah, you could sit there and plane watch all day. Alright, so it looks like we'll make it. Although I'm a little bit concerned. Alright, what's our... Okay, we got 20 nautical miles. Okay, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this because we may be getting set up for failure here by the ATC. Looking for nub in all the wrong places. I did fly, I think, once in and out of Boston Logan. I didn't have a good experience there at that airport, to be honest. Well, it was a 50-50 experience. This is probably more like 70-30. 70 on the negative side, 30 on the positive side. It just, you know. The bad part was I was flying in uniform at the time, and as I landed at Boston, I had to go to the ticket counter to get my follow-on flight boarding pass and all that, and the ticket agent said that I needed extra screening, you know, at the security gate. And when I went up there and I handed my information to the TSA agent, and they looked at me and looked at the boarding pass, and they're like, "Huh? What?" Yeah, they were like, "Why? No, just here you go." Have a nice day. I think the ticket agent didn't appreciate the fact that I was in uniform. Or the person at the ticket counter, the main ticket counter. But even the TSA agent was like, yeah, this seems a bit ridiculous. All right, so we're going to turn coming up here. I think we'll make it over these mountains. I think our actual, oh, no, our point's here. So I think we're okay. Let's just have a quick look. All right, so yeah, I remember seeing all this coming in. All right, so I think we're safe. All right, now can we ask for, no, all right. Request IFR clearance for what? That's interesting. Why would it have that? We are on an IFR flight. We didn't cancel anything. Huh, okay. Maybe because this is an RNAV approach? Oh, we gotta get back to... get our altimeter reading back to correct. Oh, while we're continuing to descend, let me get my stuff set up for Firefly. Manual A320neo. Excuse me. I say it was EDDM. Yep. RSB. So we just need to put our times in once we're on the ground in the stream. So yeah, once we're on the ground, folks, we'll wrap things up. Do appreciate everybody coming in today, hanging out. We're not quite at the phase where I start to focus more on the landing. We will be there before we know it. And drop this to 210. Safe side. Alright, we should go to our next altitude here. Probably going to be about 5, almost 6,000, I'm guessing. Should be coming up here any minute now. Let's see if our altimeter has changed. Yep, there we go. Just a slight change. Let's zoom out here just a bit. All right, so that's what I'm talking about right there. So we're going to fly along here, then we're going to fly, we're going to go circle, circle, in. So that's what we got coming up. Ooh. Ooh, look at that kind of fog here in the low mountains here. Kind of give that creepy feeling. All right. Try to keep our speed up a little bit, so once we're more getting ready for our final, we'll go ahead and slow it down a little bit more. I think we'll keep it at 210 for now. Well, we really did good on fuel economy. This thing didn't hardly use much fuel at all. We were at 50% when we took off. It's fantastic. So really, I guess in the real world, if we were gonna, we could theoretically pull into the parking spot, resurface the aircraft, but not even take on any fuel. We could do a return trip to Munich, you know, but we're not going to. We're gonna wrap things up for today. But I guess if with the amount of fuel that we used in real world, we could do a return trip and not even have to add any fuel to the tank. Well, that one still has been kind of... That's amazing. It was going down, but then it's like it I don't know. Interesting. Well, I think once we start making that turn here, I'll slow us down a little bit more. Cabin crew is preparing for landing. Collecting that last bit of trash. Everybody take that last swig of coffee or adult beverage. look at that. We got the half moon there. We're getting into this fog. Ooh, very creepy. Give you the if you're inclined for such things. You know what? I think I'm going to take a run to the little captain's room real quick. I'll be right back, folks. Did I miss anything? Let me check the. Nope. All right. Perfect. I thought maybe I'd come back and there was like a. All right. Go ahead and go to 180 here. Okay, so this is what's getting ready to happen then. We're going to have to slow down a lot now. It looks like we are going to bypass that loop and we're going to go right on in and land. Now this is something that was, they did talk about it on the approach plate for this RNAV approach, was that you could in theory be you could bypass stuff and go right in if that's what the ATC wants you to do. So looks like we're gonna go right on in then, folks. Nice. All right. It's a little too early for the localizer, I think. We got to go past it, and then I think we got to turn a little bit more to the left there to line up. Unless there's a there's a crosswind, that's why. Let's see if it changes at all. Maybe just hit the approach mode now. No, 2. All right, let me focus on the landing, folks. We'll be back in the chat once we're on the ground. Oh boy, I think we're going to end up missing this one.
2,500.
Yep, we just missed it. Doggone it. God. Yeah, they waited too long to tell us to go to 3,500. All right, we're just going to do it ourselves then. I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. All right, folks, we're going to just come back around here. Yep. I had a feeling that's what was going to happen because they had us come in a little bit sooner than expected, and we didn't have time to get down to 3,500 feet to be ready to land. I need to climb up just a little bit here. Where's my runway guide didn't even come on. That's terrific. All right. I saw the runway. We went right over it. Let's go back this way a little bit, and then we can try to line back up again. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what we can do. We don't want to climb up too much higher, otherwise we're going to miss it again. Well, we weren't going to get down to 3,500 feet in time. That's for sure. We were trying to do that, and the whatchamacallit never showed up. The guides. I would have rather we did the actual circle around and then came in. But look at the thing still didn't show up. Okay, that's all right. Actually, we should have turned. We should have climbed and turned to the right, not the left. We were very. There's a lot of terrain around here that we could have easily screwed up. But I think on the plate, if it's a missed approach, you climb and turn to the right. That's my understanding. Oops, we're not quite there. We gotta go to the right a little bit more. It would be really nice if this my guides line showed up right now, but I don't think they're going to. And I'm worried we're going to end up crashing this. We've got enough fuel. If we have to go around again, we will. But I'm trying to get us on the ground. But the sim is definitely not helping me out today. All right, hold on a second. Let's go. Oops, not there. Display direction. Okay, there we go. There's our airport. All right. Yeah, we're gonna miss it again, I think. Yeah, I can't see any lights. There's no lights. There's no guideline. Nothing. Dang. I can't see anything. Yeah, I think we're way off the mark again. Goodness gracious, why is the sim not helping me out today? I've got everything on. Okay, well, yeah, we just missed it again. Yeah, Joseph, hopefully so. It's just, I can't, it's not giving me the lines to line up. That's the problem. I'm missing information to help me line up because I can't. There's this fog and this very low fog, and so it's kind of hard to get the information that we need. All right, let's try it again. Normally our those guidelines show up. I don't know, Joseph. It might be. It probably is. You know, there's no telling. Try this again. Luckily, like I said, we've got enough fuel for a go-round. That's 2 go-rounds, but hopefully this is the last go-around. I don't know why the guidelines didn't turn on like they normally would. I guess the sim wanted to really challenge me today. Let's dial this at 3100, just in case if we get lined up and we can actually do a ILS approach. It'll go to that correct altitude. Altimeter hasn't changed, that's good. Well, if for some reason the sim decides to crash, then I appreciate everybody hearing today. You just never know at this point what's going to happen next. Goodness, where's the runway at? There we go. All right.
$2,500.
Oh, am I coming in the wrong way? Oh, goodness gracious. I think I am. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, we were coming in the wrong way. I saw one of our nav points, and I thought we were closer to our runway than we were. I thought we were lining up, but okay. Now I see where we need to be. All right. I was wondering why our GPS stuff wasn't lining up correctly. All right, let's try this again. It would not surprise me that as soon as we're on the ground, that's when the sim's going to crash on me. Like I said. Well, it's one of those weird things about the sim, Joseph. It's not a fault or anything. It's not my fault. It's not the sim's fault. It's just one of those weird sort of things that happens that when the sim, like I thought, okay, perfect. We're coming in at the right. We're gonna bypass some stuff and then come straight in, which was great. But then we still had to dump off a lot of altitude, a couple thousand feet, in order to be ready to land. And there was no way we were gonna make it in time. It's just one of those weird things. So the plane reacted accordingly. It went the direction, we cut off that little loop that we were going to do. And that's what happens in real life sometimes. The air traffic control might say, or the tower might say, yeah, you're ready to come on in, and you're fine. Yeah, I do skeptic, but when we got close, we were supposed to do like a circle around and then line up for final. And it cut out the circle, our little loop, as I call it. We were supposed to kind of come in and do a lazy right turn, go straight, and do another lazy right turn, and line up for final. But it cut that part out. And so we were coming in, it was like you descend to 3,500 feet. We just there wasn't enough time and space to do it. So we went around. I thought I was lined up. We missed it again. So this is our second attempt at landing. So sorry, I saw your message. So yeah, it's just been it's a bit of a challenge. And then this is it's in Romania. There's this low fog in the area. I have the guidelines turned on, so when we're on final, it's supposed to show our path right to the runway. That stuff didn't happen for whatever reason. So yeah, it's just been a bit of not to mention the crashes we had this morning when I was trying to get the flight started, loading in and getting the aircraft started up. We had a CTD, so that's okay. I'm gonna hand fly it in here now that I have an idea of where the runway is. We should be able to turn here and line up. Got to get a little bit more parallel to that, I think. Then it should line up. All right, here we go. All right, let's give this a go here. I think the final is what? I gotta look real quick. Final approach.
1,000.
Oh crap! Gotta pay attention here. I didn't even get a chance to see what the final approach heading is.
500.
Ooh boy, we are pretty low. Come on, plane. All right. Yeah, see, like our guidelines, nothing showed up to help us with the approach. All right, we're just gonna have to wing it here.
500. 400.
I'm gonna get on the ground one way or another. See, I can't even, there's no lights, there's no nothing to tell me where the runway is. That's the tricky part. I can't see anything to suggest that where the runway actually is. All right, I think I kind of see it. We got to turn a little bit more and then line back up. I really don't want to go around again. I really don't want to go around again. All right, there we go. I think we're... Oops. Well, we're going to miss it. We're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss it. No, we're not. No, we're not.
300.
And there's a crosswind. That's not helping matters much either. Oh boy.
100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Oh. Well, that's as good as it's gonna get, folks. Woo! Yeah, it just the runway kept disappearing because of this low fog, Skeptic. I tried every time. It's like, okay, I found it when we'd fly over, but then it was like, okay, now what do I do? You know. And normally, like I said, the guidelines show up. You know, at once we're lined up, we get those. I usually have those enabled so that we can, get lined up correctly. All right, we can switch that off now. Yeah, that was, and so yeah, the lights weren't visible at all. You'd think they would have. I would have been able. You hate frog? You mean you hate fog, Joseph? Well, on behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Sibia. See, I can't even pronounce it now. I'm so flustered. We're gonna go down here and turn around and go back. Local time, I believe, is it's got to be late afternoon. Let's see, it was 11. So yeah, can I turn around first there, hero? Yeah, it was not a nice landing, Joseph. That was atrocious. That was not. No, I won't accept nice. That was barely acceptable. We understand and appreciate the fact that it's Halloween. I guess the flight sim is possessed today. Who knows what. But thank you all for coming in and hanging out. We will be back Wednesday in the Junkers 52, heading from Jack Brooks over to College Station. It'll be at least this flight, maybe next week, will be in Texas, since it's such a large state. And we're in such a slower aircraft. But here we are. Let's see if we can do a... Because I touched that part of the runway, or off the runway there, it thinks we're off the runway completely. Well, it was not even. It was barely a safe landing, Joseph. That's the thing. There was a crosswind. That didn't help matters much, even though it says the wind's calm. On here, it said there was a crosswind coming in. So I don't know what to believe anymore. Contact ground. Oh, see, now it's saying take... Okay, never mind. We're just going to go find a parking spot and park it and call it a day. I don't think this aircraft is really meant to land here. I think the CRJs or an Embraer would be the more appropriate aircraft. I think it's meant for that. But, oh well. We're here. We're going to taxi over here and park it and call it a day. I tell you, I should have just canceled today. I thought about it this morning. I'm like, maybe today's just not a good day to fly. The demons may possess the plane, and who knows what'll happen. But we're in the Transylvania region. We're not close to Castle Bryan, but we are. I think you could take the train to that part. down there and find Castle Brand, explore the region, enjoy the food and the atmosphere, the architecture. I'd like to visit Transylvania one day. It is on my bucket list. Things to do. But yeah, I think Lufthansa flies a regional jet in and out of here, not an A320. We may have too much plane for this flight, I think. But Lufthansa does do a service from Munich to here and back. So I think an Embraer or CRJ would be more appropriate choice of aircraft. There's not any traditional gates. I think they pull up and you have a stairway that connects, and then you have to run inside. There's probably a very small terminal. All right, take care, Skeptic. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in here towards the end. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Today was just, I don't know. I should have probably not tempted it after we had the CTD. That might have been the sign that the sim universe was saying, don't fly today. Don't fly today. You're going to regret it. Should have just gone farming instead. Planted some sunflowers or something. So 7:10 Eastern, 11:10 UTC UK time, since their clocks went back an hour. We'll catch up eventually on the time here pretty soon, another week or so. I think it's next Sunday the clocks go back here in the United States, so we'll be back to the 5-hour time difference. Yeah, Junkers 52, Tour of America. I forget what leg number it is. I think it's on the Discord if anybody wants to look it up. So yeah, should be a good flight. I think that one's going to be a couple hours long, possibly. We'll see how we do. Shooby-dooby-doo. Get this set for premiere tomorrow on YouTube. If you missed it, you can always rewatch it there, or you can watch it there, or you can watch it here again later on today. I'm sure once it's done doing whatever it does after we wrap things up. Excuse me. I don't know if Mick's streaming tonight. I might have to shoot him a message since he wasn't in the chat. He may not be, because he may have stuff to do with kids. It's a very weird parking. No, we don't. We're not gonna park there. We're gonna park. We gotta like pull. There's a tower. Yeah, that's probably not the way it's... Well, I don't know. We're just going to pull it in straight. Or as straight as possible. Oh, I got to get my picture of the day, of the flight, whatever. We'll do it once we're... Alright, that line disappeared, so we're going to go ahead and park it here. Let me get the picture. Oh. Yep, default. There we go. That's a good picture. All right. Oh, look at this thing. Is all wait a little bit behind on the stream too. Doesn't seem like the order was a little off there. No, maybe not. All right. Let's go back in here and shut it down. Hour 45. Well, Lufthansa says it's about an hour 40, so I guess we made it within tolerance of the time for the flight. Let me put my hours in. 11:26, and it was 13:12. So 11:26. It was 12:26 local time. I'm thinking that's 14:12 local is when we landed. So I think it's 2 hours ahead of UTC, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Submit. All right, there we go. That's submitted. Anyway, that will do it for today, folks. Sorry for the hiccups and the drama and all that stuff. Was not planned, certainly, but we did the best we could with what we had. Anyway, do enjoy the rest of your Halloween morning, afternoon, evening. For those of you who are already out trick-or-treating, possibly, maybe. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until Wednesday, peace, live long and prosper. You're welcome, Joseph.